Hi once again, I'm Jon Kirkman. I'm a broadcaster and journalist based in the UK, and I'm basically going through things that you may have missed or maybe some new things that have just come out and I think you should be aware of. Today's special release is this. It comes from Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets. Now, of course, we know that Nick Mason could potentially still be the drummer in Pink Floyd, founder member, and we also know that David Gilmour occasionally goes out and tours and releases albums, and Roger Waters seems to be touring almost constantly these days. But they don't kind of venture too much into the really early years of Pink Floyd. What Nick does with this particular group is cover the material from 1967 through to about 1972, which would be the obscured By Clouds album. Now, here's the booklet you get with it. I mean, it's suitably psychedelic, of course. And this album and DVD set was meant to come out in April of this year. I actually did a presentation at the cinema where the actual concert video was played, and it went down very, very well. But then, due to the COVID virus and lockdown, it was put back, and it's only recently just come out in the last couple of weeks. Inside the booklet, of course, you get lots of photographs from the Roundhouse, which of course has a very historical connection for Nick and Pink Floyd, because they played at the very first gig ever to take place at the Roundhouse in 1967. I think the other band on there was Soft Machine. And in here, in the DVD, you get Nick Mason explaining how that actually took place. Apparently, there was no power into the Roundhouse. So what they did, they went into one of the offices connected, because it was basically a shed for turning trains around and working on trains. So what they did, they went and got a 13 amp socket from the office and led it into the actual Roundhouse where all the bands plugged in. And Nick Mason said, we probably would have played longer, but we blew all the fuses, so which is not something that you want to do, really. These are the two audio CDs, and as you can see by the track listing, there's a lot of Syd Barrett songs in there. And of course, David Gilmour occasionally performs the odd Syd Barrett song, like Arnold Lane and Astronomy Domini, and a couple of other things he's done in the past in solo gigs, I know. But really, that era of Pink Floyd from 67 and post Syd Barrett, so that includes albums like More and Atom Heart Mother and Meddle and Obscured by Clouds, they rarely get a look in really these days. Here is the DVD of the entire concert, right? Now, the great thing about this is that you get the choice to watch the whole show with all the little inserts, which is basically Nick explaining things, and there's rehearsal footage and soundcheck footage and things like that, and the various members talking about some of the songs. Or the other option is just to play the entire concert, which was what I was involved in when I introduced it at the cinemas, which was back in early March, I think. The material on here, it really is very evocative. And the great thing is it's a 5-piece band. There's 2 guitarists in the band, and I think there's three vocalists as well. And you've got Gary Kemp, formerly of Spandau Ballet. I was so surprised seeing him. But he's a great singer and a great guitarist. He's really, really good. And of course, the whole thing about the band is a 5-piece band. Okay? Now, I immediately thought, wow, 5-piece. There was very briefly a 5-piece Pink Floyd with both David Gilmour and Syd Barrett in the band. Don't think it worked particularly well. But potentially, if all had gone well and Syd hadn't gone off on his journeys wherever he went to in his mind, this potentially could have been what Pink Floyd at the time of the 5-piece band could have achieved. Of course, they went on to greatness anyway as a band. They developed throughout the early 70s, and they made some great records, as we all know. But sadly, as a band, no longer a sort of, Roger, Nick and David are still alive, but sadly as a band, it's very, very unlikely that they will ever work together again. And again, equally sadly, Richard Wright and Syd Barrett no longer with us. But the songs that Syd wrote, actually, they're surprisingly good. They stand up incredibly well and they're played so well here as well. And one of my highlights as well is a Richard Wright song called Remember a Day. I love that song. And again, I love them all. Arnold Lane, See Emily Play, Astromony Domini. Again, also bits of Atom Heart Mother, Obscured by Clouds, and the Nile song from the Moore soundtrack. It's really, really good material. And there's a great version of Fearless in here as well from the album Medal. So, yeah, not in competition with Pink Floyd as such, but certainly reliving some of those moments, which I don't think Pink Floyd played a lot of those songs after Dark Side of the Moon anyway. So it's kind of reliving the past and just reaffirming the legacy of the early Pink Floyd sound with Syd Barrett, and of course just post-Syd when David Gilmour had joined the band. This comes highly recommended. It's a nice package. You get the 2 audio discs in there and a DVD, and again the choice on the DVD of having it as the complete package with the band, various band members discussing the tour and how the band came together, or you can just watch the concert straight through, and both are really, really interesting and they're great to watch. The sound is incredible, and it's highly recommended if you're a Pink Floyd fan. So again, hopefully they're going to be touring next year. They were meant to be touring this year in September, I think, but sadly due to the COVID, which I know everyone's getting fed up of hearing about COVID, but it's a way of life now, unfortunately. But I'm hoping that next year that Nick will be able to take Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets back out on the road, and I'm sure it will be a great occasion wherever you catch them. But that's it for now. This is in the shops. You can get it through your online distributor, and if you do, I'm sure you will enjoy it thoroughly. Thanks for watching.